Okay, Dan. Well, this is the first time in Survivor history that somebody's hidden immunity idol was nullified. So take us through that moment when Jeff pulled out the nullifier and basically said, "Sorry, Dan, your idol is worthless."
um, it was surprising. I mean, like you said, it's never happened before. We had no clue that it was happening. A little frustrating at the time because you think, when you have an idol, you're golden. You're going to be good to go. I'm going to have another couple of days on the island at least to make some relationships, continue playing the game, possibly win immunity. So it was frustrating, surprising, all those different bad feelings that you don't want to feel in the game of Survivor.
When I was, as a viewer, when I'm watching Carl find this thing, and my first thought is, it's going to be so hard to play that correctly. You've got to know who has an idol. You've got to know when they're going to use the idol. So how much credit do you give Carl and the Goliaths for figuring out what was going to happen that you would play it?
Well, I mean, all the props to Carl for playing it. I mean, he's a great player. He's a cool guy. He was awesome to play it. I mean, that was good timing on his part. From my understanding, talking to people after the game, Carl was bound and determined to play it at that moment because they wanted me out. So all the props to him. It was a good move on his part.
And they also came, I think I said Glass, I meant Davids. The Davids also went in there with this huge numbers advantage, but they used a steal a vote as well. So it just seems like these Davids keep finding these advantages in the game and knowing when to play them. And are the Goliaths just simply outwitted by these guys?
It certainly looks like it at this point, man. They are tearing us up at this point, or tearing them up. I'm not a part of us anymore. I mean, they're playing a good game strategically. I mean, they knew we were coming after Christian. They're taking care of each other, and they're playing smart. They're playing almost a flawless game at this point.
And you found two hidden idols. You also won an idol, an immunity challenge. And looking back, do you wish you hadn't told anybody about those secret idols? Do you wish you just kept them to yourself?
Well, the first one I really didn't have an option because we were all three looking together, and there was no way of hiding an idol wrapped around a big old rock. I mean, there was no way of hiding that one. The second one, I definitely wish I wouldn't have told anybody. But even me in my personal life at home, I talk things out with people that I trust, and that was what Kara was for me. She was a person I trusted. So only way to get a good, clear view from somebody else's perspective is to lay out all your cards, and that's what I did. She was the person that I talked to and I trusted in the game, and obviously that came back to bite me in the butt.
Yeah, you and Carol, you were basically the showman of the season. And what was it like watching those scenes play out where she basically just turned her back on you and stuck the knife in your back?
I mean, I get it. It's a game. It's a game. We're all out there to win a game for $1 million. So I'm not upset about it. We all went out there knowing what we were there for. So it's part of the game. No reason to be upset or mad about it.
You did show your loyalty to the Goliath. In the previous episode, Angelina was begging and pleading to get your idol, and you gave it to her and showed your loyalty to, Goliath Strong. So the fact that the Goliaths would then come around and that they're willing to turn on you, that must have just been, so painful.
Yeah, man. So, in my life at home, on a SWAT team, that's what we do. We take care of each other. That's what we're supposed to do. And so that's how I went into the game. I was going to make an alliance, and that's something that we preached the whole time, Goliath Strong. And so, yeah, to have them turn their back on me was definitely a hard thing to deal with and cope with. But like I said, it's all part of the game. It's what happens. I expected it, but it still didn't mean it didn't sting.
So let's talk about the Brochacho alliance. Christian is the last remaining after John was voted out and then you. Do you wish you three could have stuck it out for a couple more votes? You had this really fun thing gelling with the three of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd love to still be there. And being able to work that a little bit better would have been a good move on my end. I mean, Christian's one of the smartest guys out there. He sees the game 4 steps ahead of everybody else. So, it would have definitely been awesome to see the three of us out there even longer.
If you could pinpoint one moment as your favorite of the whole season, what do you think was your highlight in the game for you?
My favorite, was the whole time we were at Tiva Camp. That was a good time, man. We won almost everything we went into. The only thing we didn't win a part of was the chicken and eggs. So that was actually fun. It was the least stressful time on the island. We weren't worried about going to tribal, weren't worried about voting each other out. We were there kind of having a good time. It was borderline vacation, like rough camping at vacation, but borderline vacation. We were all having a good time out there, I felt like.
And then the reverse side of that question, what was the worst moment? I guess maybe being voted out would be the worst, but besides that.
Besides that, the worst moment probably had to be the first few days, the first week or so when it was raining non-stop, man. It was so cold and wet and you couldn't get dry. That was rough, man. Trying to make fire, couldn't get fire going. That was brutal.
And what happened during that cyclone where they evacuated everybody away? Did they take you to like some private bunker or something?
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
No worries. You went somewhere.
We went to a place.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us about your daughter's reactions when you got home after being away for so long?
Oh, man. I turned into a big baby. It was so nice to see them. I went straight from the airport to their school, and they were just happy to see me. It was surprising because my oldest daughter broke her arm like 3 or 4 days after I left. So she was in a cast. I was like, what in the world, But they were super happy to see me. That was really awesome to be able to see them finally. I missed them so much while I was out there.
Mm. And since your episode aired, a few days ago, actually the day before Thanksgiving, you've had a whole, weekend to kind of process the episode. What was it like watching that and then seeing the fan reaction? Because it was a big reaction. The fandom was blown away by this nullifier.
Yeah, it was. I'll be honest, it was hard to watch. Nobody wants to get taken out of the game, especially, but, I'm glad I got taken out like I did, kind of in a big way.
Yeah.
Seeing the fans, it's kind of been, some people liked it, some people didn't, it's kind of mixed reviews on it. But it's been interesting to see the fans and whatnot and how they reacted to it.
And when you went to Ponderosa, I think you lost something like 26 pounds?
Yeah, I was under 200 pounds for the first time since probably middle school, man.
Wow.
It was wild.
And are you able to keep that off, or does it come right back?
Oh, man, I felt like I bounced. I was gaining weight like crazy on Ponderosa because your body's it's starved, so it's holding on to absolutely everything. And but me and John, we worked out while we were in Ponderosa, and then when I get home, I kind of got back into my routine. I was back to work 2 days after I got back. So back in the normal routine for me.
And so now that you're on the jury, what kind of a person are you looking for to win? Are you looking for, a social player, a game player, or something in between?
For me, it's about the best player of the game of Survivor, who outwitted, outlasted, and outplayed everybody. That's the best overall player. I don't think any one facet of the game is more important than the other. I think they're all equally important. So for me, it's all about who plays the best game overall.
Nice. And, I'm sure you've gotten this question before, but if they invited you back to come to Survivor again, would you say yes?
In a heartbeat, man. They can call me tomorrow and ask me to go next week, and I'd drop everything and go. Absolutely. I loved it. Single greatest experience of my life.
And what would you do differently?
Man, I can't be telling you all that. Somebody I'm playing with again might see this, and then all my cards are out on the table again. Come on now.
Right. So just say you're going to be the exact same person, and then you can just throw them for a surprise.
Yeah, I'll be the exact same person. No difference.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, man. We'll see you at the reunion show. It's just in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Can't wait.